Hi, I'm Christina, and this is a book review of The Younger Wife by Sally Hepworth. So this is her 7th novel, and it's my 4th book by this author. The 3 books that I've read by her I thought were absolutely wonderful. I've given them all 5 stars. So I went into this one with very high expectations, and I really did enjoy my time with it, but I have to say it's probably my least favourite out of all of the 4 that I've read by her, but I still had a really good time with it. So this one for me is a 4-star read, and the other 3 that I've read by her are her most recent novels. So The Good Sister, The Mother-in-Law and The Family Next Door. So my favourite by far is The Good Sister, which is the one she published before this one. I thought it was just absolutely wonderful. Just one of my favourite books of all time, probably at this stage. It was definitely one of my favourite books in the year that I read it, which was last year. And this one was still good, but I don't think any of her books are gonna kind of reach the magic for me of that one, because I just thought it was so wonderful. So let me tell you a little bit about this one. It was published for the first time in the UK very recently in 2022, but it was originally published in 2021 in Australia, and the book is set in Australia, and we follow one family. We have the father, who is called Stephen, and he has 2 daughters, Tully and Rachel, and they're both in their 30s, so he has 2 adult children. And he's just proposed and got engaged to a woman who is called Heather. Now, Heather is actually younger than both of his adult daughters by a couple of years, actually, so it's a little bit awkward. And on top of that, he's still married to their mother, and their mother is currently in a residential home with very advanced dementia. So lots of very difficult feelings kind of going around this one. And we see the story told through the 3 different perspectives of the 3 main women in this story. So we have Tully is our first perspective, and our second perspective is Rachel, so we have the 2 sisters, and then the third perspective is Heather, who is the new fiance. And it's really interesting to see the story told through all of those different perspectives. We alternate between these women very fast. The chapters are very short, sometimes just a few pages. So I absolutely flew through this book. I couldn't put it down, honestly. I read the first 150 pages of this one in one day, which is very rare for me, honestly. I never read that much in one day normally. So yeah, I really just powered through this book, and it had such a gripping start. So it starts with a prologue, and it is the day of a wedding, and it's from an unnamed narrator at the time, and the bride and groom have just got married, and they've gone into the other room to sign the registrar to say they've got married, and then something happens. The vicar comes out in a white pantsuit covered in blood, and we know that something's happened, but we don't know what, and we don't know who has been hurt or injured or killed, and we just don't know what's going on. And then we go back in time 1 year later to the day that Heather and Tully and Rachel all meet for the very first time in a kind of awkward lunch with their father fiance. So yeah, I thought it was really good. I thought the start was really gripping. It really did keep me entertained all of the way through, and I didn't kind of predict what had happened or who had been hurt. It didn't really feel like that kind of story. It's not like a thriller, it's definitely just more of a mystery. It's kind of like jam-packed with like family drama, digging deep into family dynamics, and it's that kind of perfect family on the outside, but quite an imperfect family in reality, because the father, Stephen, is a very well-renowned doctor. They're quite wealthy. Everyone seems to think they're all wonderful people. And there's definitely a lot of secrets there. Every single person in this book has secrets, has something big that they're hiding. And yeah, I thought it was just really good fun, and I just had a really good time with it. And she has this kind of wonderful undercurrent of tension throughout this story. So from the very first few pages, obviously, you know, something's wrong, and it was such a gripping start, but then just all the way throughout, as we meet all these characters and different things happen. And I won't tell you anything at all because I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, everyone's got something that they're hiding, something that's going to come out, and yeah, it was just a really good, fun time. So for me, This is a 4-star read. I had a really good time with it. The other 3 by her, I do prefer them more. I don't think, like I said before, any of them are going to be as good for me as The Good Sister, because honestly, it was just so wonderful. I think that one for me had just absolutely wonderful characters. I was so connected to them. The main character in that book, I thought she was just sublime. I thought it was so good. And I still think about that book to this day, and it's probably one of my favourite kind of thriller mysteries of all time. And the characters in this were good, but they were just nowhere like her. So for me, that story had something kind of magical and just different, whereas this one was still good, but it's not going to be as good as that one. So out of the ranking of them all, I do think this is my least favourite. So out of the 4 that I've read, I think I would rank this one 4th. But still a very good book. Still really enjoyed it. Definitely still a 4-star read. Yeah, will say I'm not 100% sure on the ending. I think maybe I was just hoping for a little bit more. And I have heard actually that the ARC copies had a different ending, and then she rewrote the ending in the published one, which I think is really interesting. I thought it was a good ending. I'm not sure what I was hoping for, but just felt a little bit flat, to be honest. It was going to be, I think, another 5-star read until that last little bit at the end, and it was just missing something for me, and I can't put my finger on what it is that it's missing, but there's something anyway. So yeah, I still really enjoyed it. I'd still recommend you give it a read, but if you haven't read any of Sally Hepworth's writing, I don't start with this one. Please don't start with this one, because I think she's got some much better books out there for me personally. Definitely start with The Good Sister, because it's just so wonderful. So yeah, it was a good book and I enjoyed it. I am definitely going to read whatever she writes next, because I've enjoyed everything that she's written, which is quite rare. So yeah, I thought that was really good. And luckily for me, I have her entire backlist to read as well. So she has The Things We Keep, The Mother's Promise, and The Secrets of Midwives, which I haven't read. So I'm looking forward to reading those too. And yeah, a really good 4-star read. And if you're looking for a kind of contemporary, little bit of a mystery element, but really focused on like family drama, family dynamics, and all that kind of people that aren't quite what they seem like in society. They seem very well-to-do, very well off, everything's wonderful, but underneath there's lots of issues. Then I definitely think you'll enjoy this one. So thank you so much for watching. If you've read this, I would love to know your comments down below. And if you've read any of her other books, I'd love to know your thoughts on those. If you've read any of the ones I haven't read, tell me which one I should read next. And yeah, please do like the video if you've liked it. And please do subscribe if you would like to see more of me talking about books. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.